I went over a homework question and I said this is what I was going to show you today because it's kind of like the final method they talk about in the book, but we'll just do one example to remind you of what we did. The idea is that given any trig value and location of an angle, you can find all trig values. Okay, and the method is to use a right triangle to help you do that. Okay? So I'll do one example. Let's say that we know that sine of beta equals 2/5, and beta is between pi over 2 and pi. Find the remaining, bless you, trig values. Okay? So, pretty easy to do. I always like to first figure out what angle, or at least where the angle is, because that's going to determine positives and negatives, right? Very good. Second quadrant. That's beta. Because it's between pi over 2 and pi, has to be in the second quadrant. In second quadrant, x is negative and y is positive, which means that the cosine is negative, sine is positive, right? And so on and so forth. So as long as you have this picture here, everything else will be easy. Okay, so that's step one, for me anyway. I like to figure out where the angle is. Step two, I draw a reference triangle. And using what they gave you, I draw a right triangle. I put beta, doesn't really matter where, but usually I put it in the bottom left. And if sine is 2/5, that means that opposite of beta is how long? 2. And hypotenuse is 5. Does that make sense?
Why do you do opposite?
Because it's sine, right? Now, could I find the adjacent side easily here?
Yeah.
Just do what? Pythagorean theorem, yeah. So a squared, is that what we want to call it? All right, so a squared plus 4 equals 25. So a is going to be root 21. Okay, so now to answer the question, bless you, this is the last thing I do. Do the trig. Okay, so I like to do sine first. Sine beta, I already knew was 2/5, right? Cosine beta, according to my right triangle, would be adjacent over hypotenuse. Good, so root 21 over 5. And now just keep in mind we're in the second quadrant. In the second quadrant, x is negative, meaning cosine is negative. You guys follow that? Okay. Tangent is, or, using the triangle, opposite over adjacent. So 2 over root 21, which is, yes it is, which is 2 root 21 over 21. And then, of course, because tangent is y over x, or sine over cosine, a positive over a negative is negative. So this should be a negative answer. Does that make sense? Okay. Cosecant is related to sine. How? It's reciprocal, so 5 halves. Secant is reciprocal of cosine, so negative 5 over root 21 becomes negative 5 root 21 over 21. And then cotangent, let me use this value right here. If this is tangent, cotangent is reciprocal, so negative root 21 over 2. Oh, 5 minutes and a half. Anyway, that's it.